Well, thank you for joining us for a complimentary gathering. This is an opportunity for clients or potential clients or anybody just interested in learning more about mediation or family law to ask questions or to listen to our conversations to learn more about perhaps current events, things that might apply to you, changes at the courthouse. We took the summer off, as we will do every year, but now that it is fall, we are back on the schedule for having these complimentary gatherings. So if you would like to join us, please feel free to reach out to us at birtlaw.com. You can fill out our form and ask for an invite to attend, and you're more than welcome to come. We will keep your information private. We'll give you instructions on how to attend privately, but we welcome you at our future complimentary gathering meetings. We are going to start hosting these meetings once a month, and it will be the first Wednesday of the month. That's our goal. And so if you can have time to join us, we welcome you. So today, right now, I am joined with our paralegal, Tyler Birt, and we are going to have our administrative assistant, Karen Hansel, also join us, and she's now logging in. So Tyler, if you just want to introduce yourself, maybe a little bit your role at the firm while Karen's joining us.
Sure. My name is Tyler Birt. I am paralegal and office manager at the firm. Some of my responsibilities is assisting Erin with paperwork, as well as managing the back end of the firm, be it with expenses and managing the clients and billing and things like that.
Great. So really any financial questions that you might have, whether it be billing or related to your case or related to perhaps child support or maintenance, Tyler will be involved in that process. And Karen just joined us. She's our administrative assistant here and pretty much the first point of contact that you may have with our firm. So Karen, if you don't mind just saying hi.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Thanks for including me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad that you're here. I was just saying earlier that, we took the summer off, but now we are back and we're excited to host these complimentary gatherings. We are going to be moving to having them monthly, and perhaps, and we'll set out a schedule for anybody that wants to join us, but most likely they are going to be the first Wednesday of the month. And again, just a recap, we can send you an invitation and instructions on how to join privately so that you do not have to be concerned, but this is a complimentary gathering. Anybody is welcome to learn more about family mediation and family law. So since we took the summer off, and this is just kind of our getting started meeting for this year, I just wanted to highlight that there are some changes in the family law courtrooms that are upon us. And so over the summer, there have been a lot of changes in every county. There have been changes in judges that are handling family law matters. Over the summer, there was a new Illinois Supreme Court rule that started asking counties to develop their own programs for parenting coordination. And so if you're in the court system, you might get a parenting coordinator, and we'll cover that topic in future meetings. There's blogs on our website. I'm going to post a seminar that I gave on parenting coordination, but those are some of the big changes that we've had. So if anybody is concerned about their case or their future case and how any of these changes over the summers, might affect them, contact me and I'll see, how many changes apply to your case. But are there any other questions or any other topics that you guys have seen recently that might be interesting to go over as we're just regrouping this year?
I had one that came up over the weekend. Actually, it was something that People magazine published an article about how it was fighting with an ex over these expensive gifts to their kids. So people were weighing in on that. So that was, and she claimed that was his love language and those kind of things. So it was quite an interesting article, and of course the dialogue around it was very, very lively, as you can imagine.
So if I heard you correctly, there was an issue between a former spouse giving children gifts or just family members giving expensive gifts?
It was the new spouse of the ex. So it's like the one couple was split, so one half of it remarried, and so it's the new spouse was being rather extravagant with gifts to the kids.
Oh, wow.
The step parent.
Yeah, the step.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, wow, that can cause a lot of disruption. I'm sure the children are extremely happy about it. However, that is going to shift the dynamic even further from what the children experienced through the separation or through the divorce, and now adding this new family member into their circle. Yeah, I bet that's a hot topic. And you know what? It is actually one that there's not a lot of case law, if any, that will talk about extravagant gift giving by a third party. And when I say third party, that could be a grandparent, that could be a step parent, that could be a sibling. It could be the parent that's also doing that post-separation. And problems arise when it doesn't match the standard of living that the child was accustomed to. Problems can arise if that might be perceived as trying to buy favorability of the child. But then it also, on the flip side, can cause problems where when the child goes to the other parent, if they can't share in purchasing those extravagant gifts or items, that could then have a negative repercussion on that child's perception of spending time with the other parent. I'd be interested. I didn't see that article, but Erin, did they say anything about how they resolved it, or is that it's just
No,
this is the big thing that they're fighting about?
It was just a big thing that they were fighting about. So yeah, I can definitely provide that for you.
I wouldn't think there would be any case law in regards to, I mean, if you're talking about the well-being of the child, it's kind of a gray area. I don't know that the courts would want to handle that.
So it probably is handled tangentially from other issues. Like it might come out with post-decree matters where you have to fill out expense affidavits, and it might show that one party is extravagantly spending money on the child and the other party is going to then show that they're not. Sometimes, and I can't tell you right now what the case is, if there are any out there that talk about contributions to expenses for children, or if it becomes an issue where the parent then says, well, if you're buying all these computers and devices and electronics, I want support or contributions to have like items at my home. So it could creep in.
Yeah, well, that'd be a way to handle it, I guess, to at least try and handle it.
Yeah, but it's going to be factually specific. My recommendation is always, if you have some of these interpersonal problems that a court does not necessarily have a specific answer to, you might want to save yourself a lot of time and grief of litigating the issue to create new law, because that costs a lot of money. Sometimes they're significant in your day-to-day life, but they're minor as they relate to the actual legal system. That's where mediation comes in, and we might want to have a discussion about the appropriateness of a third party showing their love, as Karen said. That was their love language of buying things and spending money on somebody. There might need to be some parental education there about how we're teaching our children perhaps not the best lesson to show love through purchasing items. There might be some also conversation about budgets and what's appropriate. And it might also generate some conversations about, is this child at the age or maturity level to handle some of these expensive gifts that are coming their way? These are all issues that courts like to see handled in a different resolution process, such as mediation or out of court. But if need be, Tyler, to your point, courts might not want to hear about it, but they most likely will send you to a mediator if they don't want to hear about it. So I think mediation is going to be your first step if you experience a process or an issue like this.
Well, you're right. And I think that, I mean, I think you're spot on with mediation and situations like this because of the costs associated with it, and yeah, there's education that needs to be involved, because I mean, it's okay to buy kids stuff. And as a step parent, I think it's okay, but it seems like, yeah, you're doing that now. I don't think that's going to last. I think every parent, every person, I mean, you look at relationships, a lot can tend to be spent in the beginning trying to woo, another person, and then as time goes on and life moves forward, it tends to not be as extravagant, but if you're getting a child in that instance accustomed to that sort of spending, because right, we see that with we see case law with marriages that are breaking down. There's one party is accustomed to a certain way of life, and the court takes that into account during the
Right.
separation.
They do. It becomes problematic when we start having blended families, and it's
Mhm.
not something that the child was used to, or the benefits the child's getting from the financial support of just the family. But there's a couple things that we can do to help if you find yourself in this circumstance. And one, I'm going to ask Erin, if you don't mind sending me that article, I will post that on our social media accounts. And I invite anybody that has any feedback or ideas or comments or questions about how that issue might apply to them, leave a comment under the article, and I will respond. But I want to share that resource and just that illustration of a potential family problem. But what I could do to help you further with that, if you ever feel that you've got this either blended family issue or you have a problem with your co-parent spending a lot on your child and what's the ramifications, there's many different services. It doesn't always rise to the level of a legal issue, but it's definitely a co-parenting issue. And so we can either prepare a script for how you respond or communicate with your co-parent and keep you on task, keep you focused so it doesn't get emotional or anger doesn't creep in. A lot of times, relying on a script until it's comfortable to actually have those impromptu conversations is one of the best ways to go to learn co-parenting communication styles without reacting emotionally. So I can help you prepare a co-parenting script. I can also help you prepare how to react to that, or how you can communicate with your child about the gifts that are being given to you. So those are just some ideas. A lot of things in family law, again, don't rise to the level of needing a petition filed in court right away, but it does impact your day-to-day life. And so we can take some of those day-to-day issues and give you the support and knowledge to handle those better so they don't rise to the level of litigation. So if you have any questions or need any support with developing a co-parenting script or a co-parenting plan for how to address some of these issues we talked about today, please reach out to us. Look for that article. I'll post that hopefully within the week. Look for the article on our social media accounts. And if you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out. So thank you everybody for joining us or listening to this first message of this season of our complimentary gathering. Again, we'll meet once a month. And if you'd like to join us, let us know. We'll send you an invitation. I hope everybody has a good rest of their day.